Hey guys, we're starting a new Masks game. Unlike the Menagerie series that we did for 63 sessions, this one's not on Roll20. It's a different group, although it does involve someone that you might have occasionally heard on the Menagerie recordings. My daughter, who would frequently listen into the game and pretty much knows it as well as I do or anybody else in the game, at least as much as you can, our number one fan. And this game is actually going to feature her and two of her friends from school. So we have three 13-year-old girls playing teenage girls. This is going to be absolute maximum teenage awesomeness. Now, this first recording is the character generation session where we came up with the team and we're setting the thing in the Phoenix Academy sort of playset that comes as part of the Unbound Masks sourcebook. So we're going through all of that process. Unfortunately, we met the first time in a coffee shop. And it is not a quiet coffee shop. It's a great coffee shop and our friendly local gaming store on top of that, known as Enchanted Grounds. We love Enchanted Grounds, which is why this whole series is called Masks EG for Masks Enchanted Grounds. Unfortunately, the setting is not quiet, so we got a lot of background noise. I tried to clean this one up as much as I possibly could. That means that there is very little dead space in between us talking, so I could chop out as much of the chatter in the background as I could. And even then, it's kind of a mess. You can definitely tell what we're saying. You can definitely hear everything that's going on, but it goes by really fast. And I mean, it's noisy. It's not the greatest thing. After this episode, the first real game episode and everything thereafter takes place in a much more quiet environment. The first one's a little bit hard to hear just because I was adjusting the sound settings. But after that, the sound improves, I think, quite a bit. This is a face-to-face game. We're not doing it over Roll20, although we are using Roll20. I'm recording a screen, so I use the Roll20 screens to like share pictures and everything like that. And we have like a screen at the end of the table so people can see what I'm sharing and graphics and all that kind of stuff without just turning my laptop around all the time. It's not a Roll20 game, although occasionally you'll see Roll20 screens if you're watching this on YouTube. So that's the premise. And we're going to jump right into this thing, and we jump right in with a little bit of explanation of the game. We got two people who have never played any Power by the Apocalypse or Masks game before, and then my daughter who's pretty familiar with them. So we explain the game a little bit, and we jump right into character generation. I hope you guys like it. I'm having an absolute ball with this game, and I think the girls are too. So welcome to Phoenix Academy.
Okay, you ready? Ready. We got some other stuff we're going to do. We got to do it as a team, so we're going to kind of go down through this.
We're going to go around
In just a second. Okay.
Let me go.
So, God, you're such a nerd. All right, so the main thing to remember about this is that, I mean, throw out the D&D stuff because it's not necessarily good. You'll understand rolling the dice, that kind of thing. I ask a lot of questions when I play, and when you give me the answers, that's what the answers are.
Okay.
So I might go like, can I do this? I'm like, I don't know. Can you do that?
Okay, so it's more up to
a little, yeah. Kayla said earlier, and I think this is pretty accurate. I won't say no. Worst answer you're ever going to get on me is a no, but. So, like, can I pick up this tree and throw it across the canyon? No, but
you can do something.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's talk about what to do. So you're going to hear from me, yes.
Well, hold on. Is the one instant no is can I blow up the entire? No.
I mean, do you have Do you have a? I mean, no, but you can probably do a lot of damage to the immediate universe. Do you have a moment of truth handy?
You can do a lot of damage to this timeline.
Yeah. You're going to hear a lot of yes, usually pronounced yes. Yes and, no but, maybe. Maybe usually means the dice are about to hit because if it's maybe, it's like we roll when we don't know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah. A lot of
and
lines that I got is maybe roll your superior.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this now. Okay, so we'll worry about the moves and stuff later on. Worry about all that. I just want to kind of give you a basic word. If you're not sure how the rules work, just ask. But basically, you're rolling these two dice, you're adding a fairly small to it. If you're rolling and you get a 7 to 9, okay, you're trying to succeed, right? That's the general idea. If you get a 10, 11, 12, big high numbers, basically doubles. It goes exactly the way you want. 7 to 9, it goes, you get what you want, but probably at some sort of cost. Things get more complicated. I'm trying to attack somebody, okay, but he's also going to get to hit you back. That kind of stuff. A 6 or lower can be a failure, although that's kind of boring. Sometimes it'll be failure, sometimes it'll be bad consequences, sometimes it'll be exactly what you want, and you realize that what you wanted is horrible.
6 and unders are the most exciting and the most fun. Okay.
And the most horrible.
So, and are there things like I shall miss and a bystander?
It may not. Okay, yeah, 6 minus could be something like, and now this coffee shop that was behind the guy is burning because he dodged jumps.
Okay.
Yeah. And he knocked you back into a fountain, and,
Okay.
it's never going to be just one. Things go
Yeah.
bad, they're going to go really bad. So yeah, there's misses in it, like you're not really willing to hit. It's more about seeing how things go. So example I use a game system a lot like this for Star Wars, and I had people who were like, I want to use the Force to like stop this thing from, stop this creature from attacking us. And she rolled like a 3.
Oh, yeah.
And she totally stopped it and grabbed it with telekinesis and held it up in the air. And she didn't really know she had force powers, and she kind of grabbed it and squeezed it to everybody who was like crunching the bones and stuff. Meanwhile, she's having a flashback to this horrible fight that happened right there that she was being. So she was emotionally scarred. Everybody around her was like, ugh. And she watched herself doing this horrible thing. It's like, hey, you got exactly what you want. And she's like, I don't want it anymore. I don't. That's terrible. And because that's you
Six
didn't
and
fail.
unders are exciting.
Kind of felt like a fail. It also angered the rest of the pack, and they all attacked.
Yeah.
Things got more complicated. Things get very interesting when the numbers get low.
Normally when I think of 7 and 9, I think of things get complicated.
She'll be watching a show where whoever's the heroes or something like that are doing a thing, and it kind of comes off right, but also like 4 more guards show up. It's
7
like,
to 9.
7 to 9. Yeah, things got more complicated. I got what I wanted, but problems.
Yeah. 6
Um,
minus.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to kind of go down through our characters and kind of talk a little bit, get to know the characters that we have.
Are we allowed to choose how much
Yes.
information?
I don't even know
we
what you're
wanna
about to
give?
ask me, but yeah. No. Actually, here's a good example. Your characters will have secrets. We don't have secrets. That's kind of if you got something that you're like a really, really, really
There's a difference between what you know and what your character knows.
right, and we're going to be aware of kind of thing. Because here's the thing: if I don't know what the secret is, I can't people at in interesting ways and have things happen out. Secrets aren't interesting unless eventually they come out. It's like an episode of Riverdale. Like it doesn't matter if somebody has a secret if you never find out what it is. They're just acting mysterious all the time. That's cool for one like episode.
Yeah.
After that, it's just boring. Like they're just acting spooky all the time, and nothing ever happens. Is lame, right? So a good example is a podcast I was listening to where there were masks, and somebody's like, so you're a witch, yeah, and your mom died when you were born, yeah. Was your mom a witch? I don't know. Does your dad still know where you live? I'm not sure. He goes, okay. Was your mom a witch? Yes. Does your dad know where you are? No. Okay, because there's what your character thinks, and then really I need to know kind of stuff. And we kind of just keep those two things separate because
You will get some of that for my character. I definitely have some of those things worked in backstory.
Okay, so we're just going to kind of go around real quick and do introductions. So we will begin with Kaylee. We're just going to kind of work down through the character sheet.
All right,
So
cool.
Kaylee is playing the playbook of the.
Protege.
Okay.
Okay, so
What's your, no,
the main,
I'm going to
like-
ask questions. You're going to answer them.
Cool.
Okay. So we're going to keep. We have a limit. I want to make sure that I get to punch somebody.
All right.
So we have to be able to answer questions and get it done in a relatively timely manner. So your hero name is.
Silhouette.
Okay. Your character name. Your
Okay.
regular name
My
is.
real name is Kendall Charity Quinn, but I have people either call me Casey or Quinn.
Because she doesn't like Charity or Kendall or your name, just in general.
Yep.
Your look. Break that down.
So I'm a woman. I think of a girl, not a woman.
Yeah, I know it's
you know.
female. So-
But I am white. I have body, casual, like curvable clothing, and then I have a very simple costume. This is my costume: white cargo pants, just a trick shirt. Very simple. Easy to move around in. Yeah.
And what are your abilities?
Okay, so my abilities are I have detective skills and impossible fighting skills, which I see as hyper senses. And part of the way that is my character is blind, so my heightened senses, like it's much easier to do just because I don't one of my senses I have to worry about. So
And you have, because the protege, the whole deal with the protege is you have an adult
Mentor.
hero mentor who kind of is coaching them, training them, trying to make them grow up to be a certain way. You guys are all going to have adult drama. The protege gets an extra dose of adult drama. And what is well, we don't need to get into what the mentors actually is. It's one that you don't have. You guys share, what's the ability that you two share?
detective skills.
Okay, so they're both kind of detective. And your mentor's name, superhero name is?
Vigil.
So they're kind
Sorry,
of Vigil. It's Vigil.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Okay. And the other thing that's kind of a big deal with the mentor is they have certain labels that they think are important, and certain labels think you kind of ignore that are not important that you want to kind of shy away from. So what label does your mentor embody?
superior.
It's all about thinking, planning, logic, precision, knowing the plan, assessing the situation, all that kind of stuff. And what do they reject?
Mundane.
No touchy-feely stuff. Not touchy.
Yeah, so my mentor is part of the main superhero team that's in Halcyon. And they aren't like, when you think of their team, not immediately think of this person. They're the data collectors, like co-op mission. They just see my mentor's ability that they have, and I don't, is telepathy/telekinesis. So there's
Nobody knows though, so don't tell
I know
people.
it's just
Okay,
it's
fine.
us right
All
now, and it's just so they're the players, but
Kind of like Oracle, except Oracle showed up in fights sometimes
yeah.
when things were serious. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, I am going to go down through your backstory questions. How did you first meet your mentor?
Okay, so do I start with like my entire backstory,
No.
or just okay? So when I first came to Halcyon, I was looking for a job at night. And I came across a small failed drug deal between 3 people. And I beat them up. I beat them up really badly. And what I didn't notice was that my mentor was watching me. And for about like a month or so, she watched me, and I noticed at some point. And then I confronted her, and she stopped watching me for about a week. And then when she came back, she started mentoring me, and that slowly increased to like an actual relationship.
Because your parents aren't in the
In the
picture.
picture at all.
Your mom is.
Dead.
Your dad is
Not
around.
around.
Why did he leave?
Character knowledge or my knowledge?
I don't think it matters on this.
When I was born, first he didn't like the fact that I was a girl. He wanted a boy, but
Also, mom was gone. so he
also
had to do it
mom
all
died
himself.
during childbirth. And he when I went blind, he didn't want me anymore, so left. And
Too hard.
too hard.
All right. When and why did you choose to train mentor?
Well, my mentor confronted me. And
I think we kind of agreed.
yeah, my mentor confronted me about that, and I chose to train with them because, well, I wanted to be like, first of all, she was like obvious to stay, and that was better than staying at like my shelf. So, and I was able to use my powers in a way that wasn't like they aren't just causing me problems. I can actually do something. So.
Why did they agree to train?
Because they saw potential and sorry.
I think it was way more positivity than they have. You were like,
They saw like a future detective and like potential that she didn't know that she was looking for.
all right. Who else outside the team knows about your training?
My best friend Maria Manuel. She is the most extreme superhero nerd to ever exist. She knows every hero that's ever been in our Mazion from the first age of superheroes age, just because that's how she rolls. So yeah.
So I want to stop that for just a little bit because the basic idea with the setting that we're going to use for default is Halcyons. And this is the kind of where you guys are not zero. You're not even the second. You're not even the third generation. So back 20s, the guys, dressed like with gears on their outfits, and they basically all use gas guns and weird
It's
stuff.
Gold Age.
And then you get your Silver Age, more powerful, just more powerful. And they're even still kind of around calling the shots. The Golden Age of they're the ones that formed the big famous super teams that everybody kind of thinks of as like the super. The Bronze Age came along and they kind of fit into the cracks. They continue to see more people who are like our street vigilantes and stuff like that, or they do their own thing. Some of them work their way into the big teams, really. And then there are you guys. Everybody thinks you guys suck. No, it's not true. But I mean, it's kind of like how people talk about how millennials are always this, and they're always looking at their phones, and they don't really care about this. And blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm not a millennial. I look at my phone all the dang time. But anyway, that's the kind of idea, is that you're now this new generation of superheroes in a city that has seen superheroes for almost 80 years. Halcyon City's, there's heroes all over the world, but Halcyon City is the city where this is really gathered together, like high density. I'm probably going to, just for the sake of having a place to put it, I'm probably going to put it on the East Coast, kind of down in North Carolina or something. There's like a coastline that works pretty well because there's not any major cities there, and I want water. And city, because it's fun to knock people to the bay. Things like that, especially if they're fire powers. It's like, knock me into the water. Do not knock me into the water. So that's kind of Halcyon City's kind of deal. You talk about all the different generations. So you cannot swing your fist without hitting like a statue to some hero pass or some monument or something. So you're surrounded by all these people that everybody else thinks are famous, and then there's why do you care about the team silhouette?
They're the first group of people who don't treat me like I need to be coddled all the time. People think I'm incapable of doing anything just because I'm blind. And this team, since they first met me as while I was heroing, they see me as like a hero, not just some helpless blind girl. So that's nice.
And what are your moves that you picked up for a protege?
Okay. So I picked up been reading the files. You learned about
Sum it up.
me.
It's long.
Yeah.
So sum
Okay.
this one up.
Basically, it's you look at like villains, and before you go into a fight about a villain, you can basically say what you know about them, and then GMs you are different about what you know about them. And then there's
Our
Captain.
mentor kind of drills her on it, like makes her like, no.
I can't actually read the files, but I can.
Braille read out,
Braille read,
A lot of audio read. Audio file read back.
So, and then I have Captain. When you enter battle as a team, add an extra team pool and plus forward if you are.
So, whenever you guys go, there's a whole series of things that happen where, figure out who's leading the group that time, like who is there. And then are you guys basically all kind of on the same page? Are you organized? Are you off balance? All that kind of stuff. If Silhouette is the one like the team lead, you get more, and you get like a little pool of points and spend to help each other. You get more if she's the one who's in charge. There's a little pile of team points. If she's the one who's sort of being the captain. What's the last one you got?
Be mindful of your surroundings, which is when you assess the situation before entering a fight, you may ask one additional question and miss.
So assess the situation is a move where you can kind of like use your superior to kind of like get the lay of and she's better at it in those kind of, when it comes to getting ready for it.
It's basically like if you get like a perfect score, you get asked like 3 questions about it. So, sorry, 2 questions about it. And then like if you fail, you get, 1 question.
7 to 9, you get 1. 6 or less, you can ask as many as you want. I'm just not, and you're never going to know which answers are right.
But with this, I like actually get an answer.
And the cool thing
even
about
if
that
I
is
fail.
if you say like, who's the most dangerous person on the field? And I say, it's that guy. And you say, I'm going to attack that guy. Then you get a bonus to attack that dude because you know that like this person is the most vulnerable, like most engaged. So there's a very specific list of questions. And that's pretty much it for you, Greg.
Yeah.
Floridia. No, what's your name?
Halicine.
Halicine.
That's
Halicine.
my hero and my name.
Your playbook is, let's go back to that. Your playbook
The
is,
Outsider.
you're the outsider. Halicine.
So that's also my name on my home planet.
So your real name and it's your superhero name.
Yeah, and then my name on Earth is Pen J.
Penny J. All right. And what's your look?
So I'm female with a human body, but that's only on Earth. On my other, I have
Like
metallic
kind
body.
of a metallic-y, sheeny, shiny. All right.
And then I have metallic eyes. I wear mismatched clothing.
Because, Earth fashion is hard.
And my costume is just a practice.
Okay.
Good for moving.
You looked around and said, like, that looks simple. I can probably... Plus, you shapeshift. You need something that's basically stretchy and gets out of the way. Yeah. Speaking of which, what are your abilities?
Well, I fly and I'm tough. And then the that I chose are radical shape-shifting. And then also telepathies and mind blast.
Okay. So, psychic and shapeshifting and your whole planet is basically do that thing, yeah? Okay. So, I'm going to steal your sheet here for a second, and we'll go over your backstory. Where do you come from?
Okay, I come from Lucia,
Lucidia.
which is like a planet of 3 suns and 5 moons. There's a lot of gravitational.
Yeah.
It's a weird planet, not in our solar system.
Okay.
There's lots of ocean, and so
Okay. So, a lot of...
Wonky.
Yeah, so it's obviously really strongly affected by the stuff. All right, awesome. Why did you come to Earth?
So Vanquish came to our planet and he tried to take over. And
Think intergalactic warlord. Think Thanos. Actually, that works more. Or more like Ronan. Actually, he's not. He's not quite at Thanos level, but he's totally like Ronan, first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, like complete warlord. Yeah, conquering warlord.
yeah, and I didn't like it.
What's that? You don't have to have I have a
don't have a
pocket
villain
full
either.
of them. Okay. What's that?
But my planet was always all peaceful with really you can do whatever, and so I didn't like the orders by flag.
Cool. So, why do you want to stay here on Earth for now, at least?
Well, it's just a lot more,
Safer.
safer. No war.
And why do your people want you to come home?
Well, I'm the princess, so they need me to come back to
Of
rule.
course you are. No, that's classic. They need a leader, right? Hey, somebody to hide behind. I mean, be ruled by. I mean, be led by. Something.
Mid-shield.
And why do you care about the team?
Because I have a really big family tree, and so I'm always used to being in a group. Everyone's connected in some way on my home planet, and so I like
Nice.
Yeah, you said like nobody talks on it's all just like stuff. You tend to make strong bonds.
And these humans all talk with their mouths, and they also eat with their mouths, and they like kiss with their mouths. It's really like Honestly, it's kind of unsanitary. I'm just going to go down real quick.
No
through your,
wonder everybody's always sick.
I'm just going to go down through your outsider moves that you picked. The belong in two worlds thing is cool. You can basically sort of call home and they will help you out with alien tech, or call home to kind of comfort and support you and get rid of addition. Consult your people's knowledge database. So you basically can call home for help. Alien tech lets you fiddle with Earth tech and do impossible things with that. So I have a cell phone that can call back to my home planet, stuff like things like. And finally, Kirby Craft, which is basically you have a spaceship.
Kind of. Here it is. It's basically like a motorcycle, but it has no wheels, and instead it levitates.
So it's like it hovers, and then
it's also like a convertible where the glass is up the top.
And
airtight.
I'm looking at your strengths here. The ship itself is telepathic. That's awesome. And it has chameleon plating, so now you see me, now you don't. It's not invisibility, but it speaks.
It's like the
moving
jet from Spider-Man. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The chameleon plating. Yeah. The weakness of the Kirby Craft is that it's susceptible to mental attack, and it is unarmed because you were a peace-loving, happy people. Suckers. Is it gendered? It's not a boy or girl. It's an it.
It's a they.
Thank you for not discriminating, Jamie.
It's a non-binary ship.
Non-binary ship. It's fluid. All right.
Day to day.
I think that's most of that stuff for. I'm not going to get that name right. I'm going to make you write this down. Halcyon.
It's written down.
I need one of these things here. We're going to fold these over. All right. So you, Jamie the Second, what's your playbook?
I'm the Nova.
Oh, God. All right. And right now you don't have a superhero name, but you do have a regular name, and your name is...
Lucy.
We just need a last name in there. Write Halcyon on there for me. Just so we can remember.
Yeah,
my name is Lucy Ray.
Lucy Ray.
We'll probably be referring to you as your hero names because
I need to use different names.
Jamie C.
Yeah, unfortunately you're both Jamie C.
So I write just Quinn or Zoe.
Whichever one you think makes the most sense to get this on here too. Okay, so you've got... So you're the Nova. Tell me about your look.
So I'm a female, normal skin, casual clothing, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Okay. And
my
your ability is?
fire.
So yeah, fire control, elemental control. Awesome.
My outfit, like my costume, is it's colorful, like crackle. So I have just a black jumpsuit, skin tight jumpsuit with kind of fiery designs on the sleeves.
Very practical.
And then just white knee-high shoes.
You say a cape?
No.
No capes.
No.
I don't want Edna had the whole scene grabbing the cape and then
Because
everyone
Edna
died.
says no capes.
And this is no capes. All right, and let's go through your backstory. I'm going to ask you these. When did you first use your powers?
A couple months ago.
So this is all very...
Very new.
Very new.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Do people in the world at this point know superheroes exist?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This has been going on
That's
for
what I thought.
years.
Okay.
Like centuries.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, basically in the 20s.
Yeah.
It's kind of like everyone knows.
Decades.
Decades.
Like in the Avengers movies, everyone knows.
Yep.
Like 80-ish years.
Now, there's more heroes than the Avengers, so it's kind of like it's like the Avengers, except if they're even more common. People don't exactly forget. Who was the first person you accidentally hurt with your powers?
It was at the park. This guy that went to my old school was bullying a kid that also went to my old school. And so I stepped in and he really, really insulted me. And he got really mad and I lost control. So I burnt him severely.
So he's out of the hospital now, but is he okay?
He just got out of the hospital. He's still bandaged. We're on break at school right now, so I'm not actually at school since I hurt him because it was summer break.
You dropped out.
And then I didn't sign up this year because I didn't want to grunt him.
I think maybe we might have to do something where your family does kind of know about, because there's got to be a reason that you moved to Phoenix Academy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it may be like, okay, we can't deal with this, so we're going to make sure you're going to a school where people can do.
It's easy for me. I mean, my mentor is my parents. Get into that later.
Guardian.
Guardian.
And
Okay, what do we got next? Who outside the team helps you control your powers?
this old lady named She
Does she have a laugh?
no,
Agatha,
she didn't tell
Agatha.
me. She just told me that her name is Agatha, and she saw what happened. And she's helping me control it and helping. I told her I want to hide it. To my knowledge, nobody in my family ever had power,
Okay.
and I don't.
We'll have to figure out what got you to. If you don't want your family to know, we need to figure out what got you into this.
Cool. Other knowing.
Okay, yeah, we just have to figure out some way that's going to get you to that school. Or something
You're
like
lying about your school this entire time. Like, yeah, Mom, I signed up for the next curriculum.
that. Anyway, why do you continue to use your powers? They're like crazy dangerous.
Well, because if I don't, then it builds up inside me, and I like control.
Love that.
It is kind of
I
awesome.
don't want to hurt anybody else.
All right.
So you have to use it a bit at a time, so it doesn't.
What hero does that sound like? Because I feel like I've heard that basic idea. It's like, I don't want to use them, but I have to, because otherwise they'll explode out of me. At, like,
I'm basing it off of like anger.
That does
yeah.
kind of remind me of something. I can't
The
remember.
more angry you get, sometimes you just have to scream at someone, and then you.
Yeah, I can't remember.
sometimes you just have to cry.
Um,
All the time.
why do you care about the team?
Because first moved, I was really insecure about stuff. And they kept standing up for me.
Awesome. All right. And she's got this ability called Burn, which lets her do like certain kind of power-up sort of things with her powers. She has Moat, which lets her put up sort of a not permanent, but more permanent than a few seconds, kind of a barrier to protect people.
Wow.
She's got Boost,
Savior.
which lets her,
Ooh, I love Bruce.
it gives you bonuses. It lets you boost other people's
Boost
rolls
is
on
fun.
stuff. Overcharge, which lets you basically go, I would like to take a 10 on unleashing my powers, please. Thank you very much. And finally, Elemental Awareness, which lets her, like, detect crazy stuff within her element. Like, just her eyes roll back in her head and suddenly she knows stuff.
You are the chosen one.
Okay. Now, normally what we would do right now is go through this question called when our team first came together, but we're not going to do that yet because we're doing something on with regards to the Phoenix Academy stuff. So,
Yes, let's do it.
let me get up the Phoenix Academy thing because we need to answer some questions about the faculty.
Okay.
Okay. Starting with the character, with the player that introduced their playbook last. We're going to choose one of these questions. We're going to ask things. You must choose. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the faculty that we're going to have and that I want in there, kind of break down what. So Phoenix Academy's has been completely destroyed and rebuilt many times. That's why people call it Phoenix Academy, because it keeps coming back from the ashes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
That's actually really great.
And it was built quite a while ago. It was actually completely closed down for about 15 years until this guy who had been hunting its original founders across time and space came back and revealed that he had been possessed at the time, and now he's trying to make up for all the horrible things. Because he actually attacked the school one time and killed 15 students and a couple of faculty and stuff. When he finally found the founders of the school, they broke that entity's hold on him, and now he's trying to make up for everything they did. So your principal's name is Hellbinder because he's had a rough. I mean, he's
Sounds so
The trans
welcoming.
demon.
I'm so welcome
his
into
old
this.
his old look used to be like leather straps and spikes out of the shoulders and joints and stuff like that, and horns and stuff. And now he's got kind of like.
You go to that school?
And now he's got kind of like dark red skin, and his hair is slicked back really slick with like one white stripe through it, and he wears like a suit all the time and just keeps things very.
I'm so gonna get so much sleep.
He's very refined and everything. He's technically still under sort of house arrest, so he doesn't leave the island that the school's on. It's an
Of
art.
course, the school's on an island.
It's well, they originally built it inside the city, but there was so much collateral damage around the school from people attacking it that they moved it out to an artificial island out on the outside, like off on the
yeah.
bay. So you've got the headmaster's name is Hellbinder, who changed his ways and is now running school. He takes kind of a tough love sort of approach to things.
I'm used to that.
You learn by failing, learn by trying. He will not send like school resources to help you out with a fight you're losing out in the city. On the other hand, God help anybody who attacks the school directly because he's on his home turf then and you are going to get so that's the headmaster Hellbinder. The administrator,
I love
David.
it's like it's only if you're losing he won't send you like help.
Day-to-day operations fall into the hands of Selma Schwartz. She isn't.
Miss Schwartz. Our science teacher.
Yeah.
Hey,
Selma was ancient when the school was founded, and she's still here and runs the day-to-day stuff behind the front desk. She served at the school for decades as the person who knows she always knows which kids are out sick, which teachers have left for Jupiter,
so don't try and skip.
how much time villains have left on their clean slate thing. Some of your teachers are villains. And this is how they work on probation. You get out of prison, you have to come and teach at the school, you do
Well,
enough.
no wonder it keeps getting attacked, right?
You can work off your some of your time by teaching kids in school. Some of them are very good at it. Her appointment to the high-level position has not dulled her ability to keep tabs on the school. Your math teacher is Mr. Brick. Sounds like the name of a veteran. Stop it. Sounds like the name of a veteran superhero, but it's just the nickname everyone uses for the math teacher, Benjamin Rick. It's B. Rick, so everyone calls him Mr. Brick. He is not a superhero. He is one of the few regular teachers who teaches at the school. He is here to make sure, quote, these kids know how to add and subtract and amongst all of this other nonsense. Okay.
It's only adding a subtraction.
The English teacher, Princess Arizella, was supposed to return to her undersea kingdom after graduation 4 years ago. Instead, she retained her identity as Cutlass and became Phoenix Academy's first-year English teacher.
Wow.
Her love of classic literature is infectious, but she hasn't adjusted fully to having friends who are still students. She likes to teach She also teaches hand-to-hand combat with her buccaneer blade formed from the weapons of the Ghost Pirate Court. So
That's exciting. I feel like I have a very good relationship with this teacher.
sometimes she gets a little bit carried away with the quips and acrobatics. So Seahawk. Anyway.
Backflips into the classroom. Hello, students.
Anyway, the gym teacher. No one would ever admit to liking the robotic Sergeant Surge. S-U-R-G-E is like an acronym. And he likes it just fine. Surge is a clean slate success story. He used to be a villain. He was originally designed as a weapon to take down the Exemplars, one of the big-time classic superhero groups. Where are we at here? The Surge's programming and core ability is to mimic the power of any metahuman he detects. And it serves him very well as the PE teacher. Yeah, he's basically a Mazo as your PE teacher is a Mazo.
Has anyone tried me? Because that would be an experience.
Anyway.
Especially for a robot.
An Aegis facility still holds his full mimicry mechanism, but he still has access to a few different power profiles for copying, including Mega Matador and Seismic Prime. He's really good at knocking people on their feet, off their feet. The science teacher is Professor Positron. He's a cybernetic technopath from the future.
Of course, because time isn't messed up already.
When he first arrived from the future, he was fighting a creature known as the Techno Seed, which is a nanoswarm entity. And his career wasn't really that remarkable until Hellbinder invited him to come teach at Phoenix Academy, where he found his true passion, teaching.
Another time, Jason? Oh, question mark?
No. Sure, possibly. History teacher is Niles Berman. With Niles, you get two teachers in one. Niles Berman is the mortal aspect of Pharaoh the Eternal, a cat god queen ruler of an alternate Egypt from 1,000 years ago. I'm sorry, thousands of years ago. The heroes of Halcyon City confiscated his amulet of Sekhet Ka-Ra, his most powerful effect, after it accidentally transferred her essence into Niles. So you have Niles, who's a history teacher, and Sekhet Ka-Ra, who's like a Egyptian cat god, female Egyptian cat god, and they frequently get in arguments in the history class about their differing interpretations of it. So
the Egyptian, it is probably
super fun. Okay, so that's a sketch of you. You can make up more. Doesn't matter. You want a different English teacher? She's only first year, so that's fine.
I like this teacher. Yeah, she's fun.
I'm not saying she's not fun. I'm just saying you can feel free to make up new stuff on.
I'm not gonna be taught at all. I'm gonna teach myself.
Lucy.
Yes.
Which teacher will just not cut you a break?
I want to see the gym teacher.
Sergeant Surge?
Yeah.
Okay. Sergeant Surge will just not cut you a break. Is it partly because of your powers?
Maybe.
Basically,
I don't
he's
know
just-
is not a valid answer in this context.
Basically, he's just like a hard ass, and he just, makes you work for everything. No powers, climb the rope to the top.
Where is the rope?
Who burned the rope?
Where is he like?
Who burned the rope?
To be fair,
Right.
He's kind of like
that would literally
if
be
he
impossible
doesn't.
for me to
I feel like he doesn't understand that I
How can you
can't
see
control
this?
it, and I don't know how to control. And I'm all very new to this, and I get what
And what we know as the readers of the book, as the readers of this comic,
Mhm.
is that he totally understands you don't control your powers, and he is forcing you to continue to work on it because eventually he's going to considers you to make sure you can control. And that means apparently lots and lots of push-ups.
Secondary objective.
All right, Palasine, which teacher do you have a secret crush on?
Ooh.
Boom,
I'm so done.
Should do the Mr. Brick.
Mr. Brick, the math teacher. I love the fact that the alien, who's like this princess from a crazy like three-son thing, has a crush on like the totally most normal teacher in this. That's awesome. That is awesome. You have a crush on Mr. Brick.
Poor Jamie.
Yes. I require the highest of fives. Give me All right.
I see Mr. Brick is so cute.
No, she doesn't. She's like, this is this new feeling. I don't understand.
Why am I hyperventilating? Why are my lungs? I've autocopied the human body correctly, but my lungs seem to be failing. Why does my chest?
Wait,
My
your,
sweat
your skin
glands.
tone can change without you
My
knowing?
sweat glands are acting up abnormally. I need water. I need water. Where's the pool?
I need to go.
She
for a
solves.
swim.
She
She
solves.
melts into a blob, like...
She starts to blush and like panics and just leaps into the pool.
My skin is turning the wrong color.
I didn't know that your skin could change without you knowing.
Okay, Silhouette. Quinn, who do you believe in the faculty is secretly a super?
Hellbinder.
Hellbinder is still secretly a supervillain.
Oh yeah, I have no trust.
This is all just part of.
He
This is
sounds
all
like
just
he
part of
looks
his
like-
thing. Is it because he's like demonic, or is it because he's like magic and you don't
It's
trust magic? Or
Because he's been attacked. He's like, it's not like I don't.
you've
I
read
don't-
the file. You've seen how many people.
I've seen the facts once. Like once is like multiple times, and like I don't trust that. It's not even like I don't just against their powers. Like it's magic that doesn't automatically make them evil. It's just what they've done.
Alright. Oh, we totally do.
There's
Just not
so
about
much.
that.
Oh yeah, I have some special things going on.
Lucy, which teachers do you think are secretly hooked?
Ooh, okay. The T.
Again, you remember you can make them up if we're short of people that you
The
need. It's
tea.
all.
The janitor, which is
Okay.
and
So like the custodial, I'm gonna go find that one where the janitor that everybody learns sign language so they could sign him happy birthday. I'm gonna use.
oh, that's sweet.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, this guy, the whole school buddy was amazing, and so this like all the kids in like third grade or something like learned how to sign happy birthday so they could sing him happy birthday on his birthday. It's adorable. Yeah, it's not
okay,
third grade. I
so
can't remember. Anyway.
wait, what other girl teachers were there besides the English teacher?
We had so there's the female cat god, which would be
okay.
Osborne.
They don't have to be female and male.
Well,
That's
yeah,
true.
I know.
I know.
You've got Professor Positron. You've got the history teacher, who's also a cat god. You've got Princess Arizella, who's like from an undersea kingdom here.
The princess and the janitor.
Oh, maybe that's why she didn't leave. Oh, that's the theory. That's the theory.
Yes, yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
The tea has been spilled. Oh my god. Okay.
The
yes,
Boston
it's
Tea Party.
So it's the English teacher and, or if you really want to like make her life horrible, your theory is that she's secretly hooking up with Mr. Brick and she's got a crush on Mr. Brick, so it gets even like, no, I'm sure that's not happening. He is an honorable man. Or which do you think?
Nah, the janitor.
The janitor? All right.
I don't know why I don't want this to happen, but
Why am I suddenly so uncontrollably angry? I think that's called jealousy, sweetie. I don't like it.
Which teacher do you think should retire, Allison?
What's the really,
who's
really
the one? Yeah, who's the one who's been
Okay. Oh, the administrator?
Yeah.
Selma Schwartz.
Yeah.
She's not even, I mean, she's not really, at least you don't think she's a superhero. But yeah, so I'm going to get
her
back,
hair?
like, why do you think because she's just too old or because or does she annoy you and you wish you would retire because then she wouldn't be bothering you?
both.
Yeah. She's always up in your
has
business?
all her like old people
What if she
ways.
knows that you like
She has
Mr.
all of her
Brick?
old people ways.
What if she
Oh my
knows that you like Mr. Brick? And that's like,
No.
No, that'd be
But she
really
might
funny.
drop some hints about inappropriate student-teacher relationships.
You know it's
That is so
you can get it
passive-aggressive.
spelled,
Right?
you have it.
Yeah, I love it. Which
That is
teacher?
a master's
All right, and
degree.
we're gonna drop back on you. We're gonna drop back on you because this guy comes back around. All right, you think that so and so is secretly a villain? Who do you think would make a good replacement headmaster then?
Me.
That was
They call it Phoenix Academy for a reason. Like out of the faculty
Yeah.
that are already there.
Or it could be just some hero that you think would be a good headmaster. She'd like come to the school and take over.
I think that I don't know. You'd have to come back on one because I need some time to think about that.
Not the swashbuckling Princess Arizella.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that.
It would
a
be
lot,
so
but,
much
like,
more fun if she were.
Oh yes, she's like my favorite teacher.
She should be headmaster.
She
I
should
love
be
it.
headmaster.
I have a good relationship with her because we're both princess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Spill the tea, queen. Not a queen, a princess. It's a phrase.
All right.
Yeah, you talk to me and I'm like,
So, first question. Let's talk about how you guys came together. First question, before we get into the actual thing that happened, is: were you at Phoenix Academy before you came together as a team, or were you like already kind of working together before you came to Phoenix?
I think it was before.
yeah.
no, wait.
Well,
what
she's
do you mean?
fairly recent to this
Yeah.
whole gig.
True.
I went to
Yeah,
Phoenix
I
Academy only
came
because
to Earth.
something with
So, are you like? Did you get in Phoenix Academy? Because it's not just supers here. It's
Yeah,
a lot
and
of
I would have been in Phoenix Academy for a while.
Well, the old lady Agatha could have told my mom that she's failing in school. She should go to Phoenix Academy or something
Or
like
it could have
that.
been. It could have been that. It could have been. I mean, if you're like,
The old lady act.
it could have been like the whole, like sort of like you're an advanced student kind of thing.
Mhm.
There's a hang on. There's a thing in here.
You're too good for school, so you must get
I
switched.
gotta back up. Oh, here we go.
I'm too heated.
I think that my mentor would have just bothered
Too
me.
cool for school.
She would have just bothered me about it until I was just like, fine, I will sign up for it. Because I didn't want to go to school because I hate school. Because everybody hates me at school, or they treat me like I'm a little baby.
I got to Earth, I saw kids going to this building,
So-
and I wanted to go with them.
So
My old school put me in a special needs class
okay,
because
no,
I
no,
was
no,
blind.
no, no, no. Kids around the world dream of going to Phoenix Academy because it's amazing, right? It's
Yeah.
full of superheroes and stuff. It's also full of geniuses and things like that. There's a program in Halcyon called. There's a program in Halcyon
Needs a tissue.
called the Rising Stars program. It's kind of like a lottery.
It's called what?
Rising Stars.
Rising Stars program. It's kind of like a lottery for some students at the regular high schools around Halcyon City. If you win the lottery, you get to go to Phoenix Academy. You won the lottery. Whether they cooked the books, whether somebody pulled some strings or something like that, but you won the lottery and got to go.
Okay. Does the school know though that I'm?
Oh, the school will know.
empowered?
The school will totally know.
The school knows everything.
Why do you? I mean, that's
That's what I thought.
faculty will know, but they respect like the right of parents. As far as the parents know, you won the lottery, and it's a great school. Aside from anything else, it's a great school. So yeah, sure, go. Like yourself.
Okay.
What do your parents do for a living?
My mom works 2 jobs. She.
So they were never going to get in. It's not like you're going to pay your way into a private school with this. Okay.
Wow, I love that.
Because she's paying,
Well, I mean,
she's paying for my oldest brother's college. At
Oh,
this
sure.
nonprofit.
Yeah. And trying to save up for your next old brother.
So she works.
Oh, and right, it's just your mom, right? 'Cause your dad, yeah.
She works as an accountant at.
That's enough for that.
Okay.
We'll get you into
And-
we'll get you in a corporation when it's absolutely horrible.
Okay, and then just like a
Has-beens.
convenience store on the.
So
on
just
the
like a
side.
part-time thing on the weekends and stuff like that. Sure. No, I'll make you an accountant, and once we determine which corporation is really, really evil, she'll be working for them by accident. It'll be terrible.
She secretly works for Aegis.
She'll
No.
be working for Dunder the office.
It's just a cover for like Cobra. All right. That was that. All right. So all right. Now we got to talk about how our team first came together.
Yes.
And for that, I got to I get open this little thing over here. So everybody has on their character sheet a question about how the team first came together. You answer them in a certain kind. I'm going to ask them in a certain kind of order. I'm going to ask a couple other ones too. So this is the first time you guys came together was in like a big superhero brawl, and we're going to answer some questions. But there's a couple other questions. Every playbook has a couple questions to ask. Okay. All right. So the Nova is the first. Actually, I'm going to ask this question for the group. We defeated a dangerous enemy. Who or what was it?
Can I see the cards?
Oh, sure. If you want.
Because I have a person in mind, but I can't remember their
So
Sorry, I've seen a lot of these cards before.
just don't mess them. Just kind of keep them in order if you can. Careful.
Yeah, no, my plan right now.
I'm trying not to go for the ones with the higher numbers, not finding the people I'm looking for.
Who are you looking? I mean, do you remember the?
It's the lady who's like transformed. She's like rock-like. Me, Sean, and Zoe were doing it, and Rosa Rook. Ghost Heart.
The Scarlet song.
Yeah, that
It
one's.
was Rampage, right?
He's golden. Could be. Yeah, Rampage.
Yeah, because me and Sean and Zoe were playing it, and I had my Janice and stuff.
All right. So yeah, Rampage is not really rocks, but they're like so they were abducted by aliens and basically turned into a killing machine, and it kind of drove them a little bit crazy. So kind of like Hulk, but with like rocky spines growing out of them and stuff like that, and can't turn it off. Rampage. That's
Here's
perfect.
the first or the second half.
Is everyone cool with that? Is everyone cool with Rampage?
Yep, sure.
Sorry, I had it in mind, and I was for it, so it's a good starting fight.
Yep. Well, and they're a nice kind of, in a weird sort of way, sort of a nice generic bad guy. Big, strong, likes to punch stuff.
Oh my god, Mr. Clinton is so
Mr. Who? Hey, chill.
Is there some
Oh,
science?
yeah, Mr. Clinton. Alright. Alrighty. That's the... Okay, so we fought. You guys were fighting. Rampage. Nova.
Yes.
We destroyed our surroundings in the fight. Where was it and what did we destroy?
Oof. Okay, so Aegis headquarters.
What?
Aegis headquarters.
We were. Does it have to be in
She keeps mentioning Aegis. Aegis is like sort of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like the government organization that deals with supernatural crap.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
Does it have to be in like cause like
you could describe the type of thing it is, like a mall or...
okay, cause like
What?
at a dog park.
No, you gotta destroy something. There's something at a dog park.
There's dogs.
Okay.
Okay, no.
Why do you
Why do you keep trying to hurt dogs?
No. Okay, then
It was a dog park. They all died.
Then at the grocery store. Why? I don't know.
Downtown.
No, at the theater downtown.
Like a big downtown, like 24-plex. Like,
and we completely destroyed the stage.
In the middle of Dear Evan Hansen.
oh, you mean like a theater, not like a movie theater.
No.
Like the big art center down there. Like making an art, like so multiple things going on there and stuff. I like that. Okay, so
In the
you
middle,
completely
Hamilton.
destroyed the art. That's not going to make you very popular.
No, it's not.
All right, we destroyed our surroundings. Where was it? It was downtown, and we destroyed the sort of the theater district. All right, it's fine. Will you chill? She apologized. Let it go. It's okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh man, we have school tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry. Very sorry. Because I control the calendar, clearly. It's my... All right, what did we destroy? The Outsider. We didn't trust each other at first, but that changed. How? Why?
Well, we worked together, and after learning how each person works,
Okay. But, okay, when I say how, like, give me an example of, like, something that, like, what happened
Like,
or something.
did somebody, did one of us save you? Did you save one of us? Like, how did we...
What started it? What started that trust building?
Yeah, sure. How about whatever your superhero's name is gonna be?
Go.
You saved.
Anyway, keep going.
You saved me, and so then I started trusting you, and you realized that we trust each other.
Wow, really?
How did you save her? Like, what was going on? Because you saw Rampage. Rampage is a up in your face like bruiser.
Wait, you saved her or you saved me?
She saved me.
Okay.
How?
Oh.
What'd you do?
Well, so he was, his fist was coming right for her face, and I kind of like jumped into her, knocked her, and but he didn't hit me that much because I shot like a fireball right at his fist, and it like stopped his swing.
Okay, so you kind of blasted him off her. So you guys weren't really working together. Did you know each other before the fight?
No.
So you were
all
just all down there like.
I feel like I kind of started it, like I was there first.
Okay, yeah.
Because my mentor was like, listen, I'm in the middle of something, you need to get down there.
Keep them busy.
Keep it busy until I can get there.
Mhm. And then
So I was there, and then you two just kind of showed up.
yeah,
At,
because
like,
Well, it
Rampage.
was keep Rampage busy until I can find someone to handle it.
And try
I
not
saw
to
people
destroy.
running out and screaming, and I wanted to see what was going on.
I was just in the
So I
area.
walked
and
on in.
I was in the area,
Oh,
and
is
then
this
after
part
I
of the
saw her go
presentation?
in, I went in, and then as
like,
I was
what is
walking
she
in, I saw him about to
Like pound her head in. Yeah. And you're actually, I mean, of the three of you, you're kind of the strongest. I mean, she's ridiculous combat skills, but I mean, you're the, strong fly. You could actually kind of go toe to toe with a big tough bruiser for at least a little bit because you're,
But like I didn't know that because to
Yeah.
me you just looked like a normal civilian.
yeah,
Until you saw my eyeballs, and then
Yeah.
which would come later probably
What?
because
I can go toe to toe with
Well,
someone for a while. I just probably
you
can't.
thought she
take
was
them
normal
down
until she
100%.
shapeshifted into like a
Well, yeah.
like some sort
But
of like
like
armored
I
lizard.
I was walking
Komodo
in
dragon
and I
looking
saw,
thing and
all I saw
bit it.
was like the back of her looking like a human, and the
Civilian.
and then just as I was getting off her, she like started shapeshifting, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, you need to
I
start
imagine
doing.
like you jumped in front of her, like stopped the fist, pushed it back, and then like a snake goes over your shoulders.
Yeah, you need to start doing like image searches for like alien animals or something. So you're like, I turn into this,
Like metallic snake. Yeah, and I'm just like,
just so you have like a whole pile of weird crap to turn into. You can also do earth creatures because they're weird too. But
wait. So we were fighting, right? And you turned into that weird, like, serpent.
I was copying.
dragon
That was just me copying an anglerfish combined with an octopus. What's the problem? Anyway.
Yeah, we have like hundreds of those on our world. They fly through the sky.
Anyway, okay, that's awesome. Protege, we stuck together after everything was said and done. Why?
That's interesting. Why? There's not a lot of teen superheroes who are either confident enough or brave enough to jump into fights like that. And I do it because I have to, basically. Well, not because I have to. It's because, like,
That's what you've decided the gig is.
that's
for
what I've decided the gig is for
I
me.
didn't
And,
even
yeah.
like think about it. I just
Yeah,
was like,
and that's
oh my
just
God.
curious.
I saw what you
I just want to see what's going on.
Like, I was pulling myself out of a crumbling wall, and I saw what you did, and that takes guts. And, like, you were in that mindset where you weren't even thinking, and you just jumped in, and I was like, that takes hero, that takes guts, I need to know these people. And, well, technically I didn't see you, but, like you sense, you know? Like, I felt a new set of
We know what you meant.
yeah, I feel
mean
like
when
a
you
new
say
set of feet hitting the ground, and I'm like, oh, another hero.
Okay.
Or not.
How did you keep in contact?
Me.
Well, did you recognize them? I mean, even in costume, they're going to have the same kind of.
I wasn't in costume at that.
Right. But, I mean, she doesn't have. Costumes aren't going to trick. Like, a mask isn't going to trick her because it's all voice,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's the
Smell.
way you walk, it's the way you smell, it's the way that you talk, it's your
The way
no,
you
it's just
slither across
it's literally
It's your 3 heartbeats, you know. The last one's not a heartbeat. That's actually my stomach. It sounds like a heart.
It's her constant stressing. But it's like, I feel like I did recognize this.
So you found him. You found him at school the next day.
Yeah, like when I'm bored, I can just kind of like I look for her because she's like there's always something new. It's always like
She's like
the triple heartbeat or like the strangeness of the pattern with the heart and the lungs. It's
and then the
always
way
like,
she's talking
Yeah.
is like my
it's like
You smell different today. What is that? Oh, I'm copying cinnamon buns. I just like
Or I go into your brain and I'm like, hi.
your name.
It's not the
that-
same.
okay,
no,
that
that's
would-
not the same thing as what we were talking about.
yeah, I know, but like that it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm used to hearing more than normal, but that was like inside.
Okay.
Cool.
And then I want to add one more thing. Like, so after the fight, I was just like, why did I do that? I could have died. Oh my god, what am I doing? Just like kind of freaking out because, like, you know,
Sure.
I'm not.
So it wasn't until they found you like the next day, and we're like, this should totally be
Yeah.
like a thing. All right. So one of the other questions that comes from the Phoenix Academy side of things is, so this isn't something we normally have to worry about in normal mass games. We do worry about it here. You need to decide whether or not your group is a club or a clique.
Click.
Okay.
Click.
Because the club is, the benefit of the club
Click,
is
click.
you're officially part of the school. So there's a little bit of funding, there's a little bit of support, there's a little bit of protection, but there are also like some responsibilities. You have to kind of abide by the school rules. You sort of wear the Phoenix Academy uniform a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a little lame.
Yeah.
They got some rules. The clique means you don't have to worry about those rules as much, but you also don't get any of the school. So it's really more of a social.
I feel like a club is more like, it's more like, not really as focused on the fact that we're friends. It's more just like,
And I don't
we
do-
all have the same interests.
I've been at this like a year longer than you guys, and like I don't do the clubs because I have my thing with my mentor, and it's always I'm not a hero. I am a hero on my own with my mentor. Like I'm not there.
And at this moment, like, I'm still trying to deny the
And a
fact that
couple
I
of
have
new
powers
heroes
in a
isn't
way.
going to change
We've got
that.
about 30 minutes, so I'm going to keep going. We may not be able to punch anybody today because we're going to try to get through everything, but we're going to
Well,
hopefully.
technically, we already did. the punching.
Hopefully the character generation doesn't feel like you guys got the part.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, some other like clubs in the school are stuff like Honor Roll. They're all like the really high performers, and they're like sort of like the golden boys and girls of the school. The Amazon Society are all female identifying students that like share heroics together and stuff like that. And then in cliques, you've got stuff like the Munchies. They're all like food themed superheroes. They're like, it's like Bear Claws, Ginger Snap, various, but they're just like a social. Do you guys have a name? Not really yet. There's another group
The
that's
Three Amigos.
there's another group called the Mistakes that's basically a female punk band, and their names are all Miss something. So Misfortune, I can't remember the other ones, but it's like an all-girl punk band /
What's your
super
hero
team.
name?
I think I'm just gonna have it be my normal name.
Or it
Or
could be
not.
Ray.
Oh yeah, I guess
Ray,
I could
like
use my
Sun
last
Ray.
name. Yeah.
We'll figure out. I got a
Solar.
whole pile of names here. I should probably pull it out. See what
The elementals.
the Mistakes, Mistrust, Misfortune. It's that. That's that.
Mistake. I mean, I feel like we're kind of an honest.
The elementals. You know what the group is for my dad's 62 session?
62.
They're the menagerie.
It's just a cluster of weird creatures brought together. I'll have to think about a good fire name. We'll throw some at you. I've got a whole bunch of bad guy names in here, but I don't. All right, so that's got that done. Don't make her feel bad about not being able to.
No, I'm not gonna tell her.
All right, then what? What you doing?
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah,
What are you doing? Seriously?
I'm looking at stuff.
Stuff.
Superhero.
Okay.
I like the.
What's that? Did you say the elephants? The elements?
The elemental.
There's only the one fire girl though, so that's kind of. All right.
Yeah.
So
The chosen.
The different people.
the different.
The
That's a little on the nose.
outcasts.
The outcasts.
Ooh, The Outsiders, like the book. Although that's, I guess, what you're.
Outsiders is really good. You're the Nova. You're
like it.
the outsider. And I'm blind. So, prejudice, here we come.
Nice.
So, outsiders.
Yeah, we'll leave it for now. That's an option.
The
I like it.
Ethereal Titans.
The what? All right.
Ethereal Titans.
Let's leave it. All right. So relationships. You each have 2, and you point them at other people in the team. Okay. We're going to start with Kaylee. What's your first relationship there? You
You
and
and Blank teamed up a few times before the rest of you came together. Your mentor is cautious. They ask you to keep an eye on Blank.
Okay, so just the first one.
Okay.
So
You and Blank teamed up a few times. The rest
I think it would have to be Palestine. I think it would have to be Palestine because she just started. I think that fight down in the theater district was probably the first time you
The
ever really
first
like.
fight. I mean, besides the thing, but that wasn't
Yeah.
really a fight.
I blocked a punch.
All right, what was the other question?
Your mentor is cautious. They ask you to keep an eye on Palestine.
No, I mean she has.
Oh yeah,
Powers.
controls.
Yeah,
Like people like that are dangerous to our society.
yeah.
I mean, at least she
Well,
has
think
a
about it.
lifetime of.
Your mentor is
controlling
all
her
about
powers.
superiority, control, control, control.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that.
I'm putting you down as Lucy for now before I get your
Okay.
name.
I'll think of something.
I feel like you should be like Solar Flare or something.
Well, that's sun stuff. Don't worry.
Mr. Brick. You have a crush on Blank, but you keep it under wraps.
We already discussed
We already discussed this. Yes, Mr. Burke. Okay, what's the other one? What's your other question?
You've been learning about Earth by spending time with.
You got to pick one of these guys.
Well, I mean, since we had teamed up a bit before.
Yeah, or it could be more recently with.
Because I mean,
so sad.
well, no, I mean, I would say that because I probably know more about the actual human, not superhero part of the world, the human world. Because
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't know
'cause
I
you
had
just
powers,
learned.
and
I
you're
stay
blind.
inside a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because with hypersense, I don't like being outside because things are loud and downtown is I don't go outside and go shopping because first you have to go on busy roads and that hurts.
Hurt your plant.
well then
Don't you
you're gonna
think I
hear
tried?
a car coming up behind you and not be able to get out of the way.
Okay.
Oh, also there's a thing that I kind of thought of, and it's water sucks because it's so hard to understand where I am
Oh, I hate water
with
too.
water.
I love
That's
water.
understandable. Ooh, Ember. I really like Ember.
Ember.
Ooh, that's Ember.
Fire, Ember. I like Ember.
I like Ember.
all right,
Ember, Silhouette, Palestine.
Okay.
all right. So Amber, what are your relationships? EMBER.
You could have also been Phoenix, but
That's a little bit on the nose with Phoenix Academy right there.
So, you hang out all the time with Blank to blow off steam.
You can blow steam at me because I always am happy.
Well, I feel like you would annoy me though because you're if I'm really angry because you'd be so cheerful.
I'm too bubbly.
Yeah.
I'm also really bubbly. Actually, I made my.
But she
character
does
to be
does
bubbly.
practice punching things.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's what
good.
helps me calm down. We have a gym.
Workout
We have
area.
a gym.
All right.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Wait, so
What's the other one?
It's you once hurt Blank when you lost him.
So how about this one for the ones hurt blank? When you defended Palestine from Rampage, you also kind of got her,
Yeah.
with the
Like
backsplash.
the fire, use fire to slow down the fist, and then when it
And it kind of,
impacted, it flared out a little
And
bit.
it doesn't hurt me though because it
Yeah.
was my.
of course not, but I mean, yeah,
But,
you're the
you know.
traditional fire. The magic user keeps wanting to drop fireball into a 10 by 10 foot room. All of his friends are standing in. Dude, stop fireballing us. Okay, so write down Palestine for that one. Right there. All right, so influence. All right, so let's talk about influence here because this is a big part of the game we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. Every influence is the people who have influence over you are the people who their words matter to you, their opinions matter to you. You're in a bad situation with masks in the mask game to a certain extent because every adult in the game that you meet automatically has influence over you. Boom.
The bad guys, everyone.
The heroes, the faculty members,
If they are above 18, they have influence over you.
which is kind of annoying. And if it isn't annoying yet, it will be. Okay, so that's neither here nor there. The influence thing down here that you have to decide on your sheet determines who has influence on you amongst the team. Okay? So we'll start with Kaylee again, since we got to demonstrate. So how is it written for you? Choose.
Choose your demeanor, playful or business. If you choose playful, give influence to 2 teammates. If you choose business, give influence to no teammates. I feel like business is often like Roger just because it's really easy. So I went with playful just because she's positive about everything. Just because
And she's a joke.
if she isn't positive about everything, the depression will swallow her up and she will never leave.
So she gives influence to everybody. So I think here is it written. You guys can just use the blank here. So over here on this side, we'll just where you guys have a blank on your sheet. We're going to write the word influence, and I'm going to make a hash of it because I'm terrible. And you're writing down, you don't write it down. Well, you write down influence, but you write down that you have influence over Silhouette, okay? It'll come and go. Again, just like your labels move, your influence will also move.
And we also have stuff like after every session, it's like go cross the team, grow into German South. That's later.
Okay, so you have influence over yourself. What that means is she listens to what you say. If you say, man, you are a badass, you are just so good at fighting and stuff like that, and
Oh, stop. Keep going.
I mean, you can use your influence. I mean, that actually could theoretically move her labels. Like you could raise her danger, lower her mundane, that kind of thing. Or I feel like if you tried, you could probably be better at talking to people. You just have to not be so like hardcore about things all the time. And she's raising your mundane and lowering your danger.
You're really loud.
That kind of stuff. So that kind of. What's your? How is your influence written up?
Well, it's choose your haughty or cheerful. If you're haughty, think you're better than them. Give no one influence. If you're cheerful, you're thrilled to be here. Give everyone influence. So I obviously did cheerful.
You did cheerful, so you can write down Palestine. You write down Palestine.
Okay.
And your influence options. Choose your demeanor.
It's either happy facade or locked down. I'm thinking like happy facades. Like, no, I'm not really facade. I'm not really sure.
You're pretending to be happy.
What I want to quite yet. I'm really insecure and usually
You're pretending to be happy. That's me.
So, give influence to 3 teammates. So
Which is, you only have 2. So.
Everybody has influence over everybody.
Right now, you guys all really care about what each other thinks. So, happy.
We're all happy.
All right.
Oh, thank you. I'm really happy because I'm really glad. Like, I really like it.
All right.
Me and Dad were talking about how the original drug deal went, and they were like, "Kid, you didn't see anything." Oh my God. That's so funny. If I explain the joke, I mean, it's not funny anymore, but like, I'm blind, I didn't see anything. You guys are great. I mean, you realize that there's like a comedy shop like right down the road? That'd be a great outlet for this energy that you seem to have all the time. Like, I mean.
I can't decide if you're happy-go-lucky
Phil,
or super sarcastic.
Hey, Phil, you down there? Yep, that's Phil. I mean, guys, come on. You gotta have something better to do with your time. Kid, you might want to. I don't know about that, man. I just, you guys are beating up my buddy Phil. I mean, Phil, you aren't really my buddy. I'm just saying that now. I mean, like, that's,
Okay.
Phil.
Okay, it is all right. Probably not the first. Well, no, you won the lottery to get into school. So you guys were on. You mentioned you were on break, right? You're on break, and there wasn't any school going on. So we're gonna start off. It's the first day of school. How old are you guys?
15.
15. So
I was thinking 15.
Sophomore. You're whatever. I am 492, which is the equivalent of a mid-range adolescent in my people. Whatever. Whatever that ends up looking like.
I guess I would be 50.
Okay, so it's the first day of school. You've been here before. When you are looking forward to to running into somebody, now that you're returning for your second year at school, you're looking forward to.
It's either Maria, who won the lottery a couple of years ago, or the teacher, the fighting teacher. I think
Just you respond with.
Let me rephrase that. Somebody that you're going to run into today makes your heart go pitter pat.
Oh no.
Who is it?
Chad. Oh my God, Chad. I mean, looks don't really matter. How could you say that?
Seriously, blind.
Still blind, just like last year. Yeah, but if I choose a random name, it's gonna be somebody at our school.
Oh, right.
There's so
Okay.
many guys at our school.
Then just do a really generic, like, Bob. Yeah, like Bob.
Jason. Like, well,
Wait, do we know what Jason is? We don't know what Jason is.
I know Jason. Jason
okay,
will.
well, that's, then do a really exotic name, like, just headbang on a keyboard, and then that's
Henry the Third.
yeah, just Henry. So Henry,
Okay, alright.
Like something where he's from a long generation of people.
what's Tom? Yeah. What's the Spider-Man kid's?
Hold on.
Yeah.
no, that's the actor, Peter Parker.
Well, I know Peter Parker. I meant the actor.
Holland.
Tom
Oh, yeah,
Holland.
Tom
Jack.
Holland.
Jack?
Jack.
All right, there's a Jack.
There's a Jack.
And you're looking forward to running into Jack, hoping into Jack. So that's kind of on your mind, and you actually miss when Allison like walks up and is like, surprise! Where you're actually
Friend.
surprised for a second.
So
Hello,
you're
friend!
kind of like Starfire, right? Surprise, friend! We will have much of the fun today.
Oh, God. Oh, my.
Hey, look, it's me. You know, Snake. I mean, you saw me. Sorry, no, I didn't see you. Oh, you're blind. That's funny. You're funny. It's funny.
Oh, the circles in your sockets don't work. That's funny.
All right.
Your metallic bulbs don't work.
Your metallic bulbs. You're seeing mechanism.
You're spherical seers.
Your spherical seers.
Spherical seers don't work. You're so funny.
Okay. And you can see them kind of talking and that kind of thing. You're waiting for, because again, the way to really draw attention to yourself, that kind of, since the school is on the island, some of the students live out there. You guys, there's like a ferry that goes back and forth and runs a couple of times. So you guys are kind of waiting for that to come in at the docks.
To go into the school? Or
Yeah, to go up
okay,
to the school. So you guys are just kind of, it's like waiting for the bus.
By the way, my casual thing is just wearing like a black bandana that's like here, just because this isn't happening.
Well, you probably,
I have scars.
that would look too much, might look too much like your costume. You could probably just wear sunglasses, like wraparounds.
I guess, yeah.
Like Daredevil, where he wears just sunglasses.
For sure.
In the school allowed.
There's some
Well, yeah, from that
scars.
kind of situation.
There are some scars that you can easily see from sunglasses.
So yeah, she was not born blind.
Oh,
She was blind dead.
that's it.
There's
Was it a
history.
pigeon? Those darn pigeons. They make me mad every single day.
I don't know when they're coming for me. I can't.
They just
Flying was it the
lap their
seagulls?
wings.
The seagulls take my ice cream every
The
single time.
seagulls keep poking my
Yeah,
head.
no, it wasn't seagulls.
That's,
Actually, for the sake of that conversation, I'll just be like, yeah, I just, mugging.
all right, so you guys are. What are you talking about? What do you?
So I saw them and I walked over.
I'm
like,
still
"Hi,
just
guys."
laughing at her joke.
And I'm like, so what are you laughing about?
What's funny?
I'm blind.
Wait, why is that funny?
And I love how you're cracking up about that. Her orbs do not work. It's half Starfire and it's half Drax.
Oh my god,
Yes!
the orbs, it's just like,
If I don't move, I am invisible.
She is terribly hampered by a disability. It is hilarious. No, that's not how this works.
and you walk up and
Disabilities are
I'm
a
just like,
serious
hi,
topic.
Lucy. It's like, I didn't even say anything.
Wait, you mean not a good
No.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
And a lot of people are really insecure about it, so it's like to not talk about it. So let's drop it.
So
No, it's fine.
her face kind of gets sort of droopy, but weirdly at the same time her hair like rises up. And you don't think, unlike sometimes, you don't think she's actually doing it. You don't see this, obviously. You see her hair kind of do like a static rise thing. You're getting there's like a weird ionization in the air. What do you do?
It's very metallic.
Yeah, you smell ozone.
It's like the metallic, like blood, except like metal.
You know that smell like from electronics burning out? That's ozone.
Yeah.
And you're feeling like that kind of sparkle on your skin, that skittering on your skin of like ionization and stuff like that.
Something
What do
isn't
you-
right.
Yeah, what do you do?
It's like immediately stand and like kind of just like
You can hear the ferry coming in, but it's probably still another 200 yards away.
I just kind of like casually crouch on the ground and just kind of like hold my fingertip there for a second to see if there's somebody that's obviously like running around or like doing something.
What do you?
I do a stupid thing and I start reaching up to like push it down.
And I'm trying to see if there's anybody like running, if there's anybody like doing that thing, like that strange step, there's always like the same thing that people do when they run and they push off the ground to start flying. And I'm just like, I'm checking for anybody who's obviously not just like walking around and just like mingling.
And I'm just like,
Okay. If you're trying to figure out what's going on, I'm going to have you. All right, I should have shown you this already, but where's my folder at?
Ooh, who's that? No, Jamie. Here he is.
Why do these keep accumulating here, Kaylee? Can you get them? Oh, I put it in the. Hang on.
this is getting spicy.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to ASMR 32.
So,
I am.
Welcome to ASMR 32.
what's that?
Today we're going to be eating bread.
Today is the return of the beloved.
Okay, so what this is, guys, is a sheet that just breaks out what your basic moves are. So you do not need to worry about this. Here's how this game works. When you want to do something, you do it. You tell me you're doing it. I will worry about whether or not it kicks off a move.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, a nice.
You never go to like common D&D thing. It's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to hit him. Okay, roll. And that's not really what we're doing. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to blast down at the thing and this stuff and say, okay, that sounds like, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to get him off. Now, there's a couple different ways I could go. I'm going to do it so that I can protect this person. Well, that's a defend rule. I'm going to do it so I can hurt him. Well, that's a directly engaged. What you're trying to do determines what kind of the role is and stuff like that. So I'm just bringing these in here for this. And the reason for that is because what Kaylee's describing, where she's like trying to figure out what's going on in the situation, is and assess the situation. Okay? So when you assess the situation, roll superior.
Ooh, I'm good at superior. My superior is a +2.
Let's find out what that means.
7.
That's not terrible.
I know. I looked at that, saw 5, and went, oh crap.
So look at your assess the situation thing, because I think you get a bonus to it.
Yeah.
Read me that
My
move you
dangerous
have.
When you assess a situation before entering into a fight, you may ask one additional question,
Okay.
even if you miss.
That's good. All right, so you have 7-9. You can ask one. You have that bonus that lets you ask 2.
2.
So
Okay.
you get +1 while acting on the answers. So here are the questions. You see the assess the situation questions. All right, what there looks good to you?
The 2 ones I think I want to ask is what here's the biggest threat and how could we best end this quickly?
Okay. You are detecting the approach of a metallic, you're guessing either cybernetic or robotic person. They are not flying, they are clumping along, but they are definitely the source of the ionization in the air. They are going to be your threat, and based on what you know of the current superhero activity, supervillain activity area, your guess would be Voltaic. Voltaic is a robot. He was originally designed as a metahuman protection machine. He evolved into one of Halcyon's greatest heroes, and then his AI took another step forward, and he has not come to a new logical conclusion, which is that metahumans and superpowers are the ultimate threat to mankind and all need to be eliminated. You have a dock full of young, vulnerable, superpowered people, and man, it would be really easy to electrocute them all until they die, and then we've eliminated a whole bunch of superpowers.
Can I do?
Especially because we're next to water. So that's
Can I do Ben reading the files?
Yes, but hang on a second,
I do
because
for
your
that.
other question is, how can we best end this quickly? He is robotic. He is electrical powered. If you can get him in the water, it's
That's what I
probably
was
super bad
thinking.
for him. Okay? So there's your 2 answers, and if you act toward those, you get a +1
that means we
on
probably
your
need to make sure that nobody is anybody on the ferry.
No, it's
No,
not.
the ferry's still on its way.
Oh, okay.
Still coming. It's
We need to
coming
make
in
sure
dock.
that nobody like.
Now,
take a step
tell me how Ben reading the files works.
You've learned about the superhuman world through your mentor's resources. When you first encounter an important superpowered phenomenon, your call, roll +superior. On a hit, tell the team one important detail you learned from your studies. The GM will tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember. On a 10+, ask the GM a follow-up question. They will answer it
All right.
honestly.
Go ahead and roll your superior, see what you get.
9.
She gets to add 2.
Yeah, no, I just
Yeah.
had like.
All right, so you get. Tell me something that you know about Voltaic.
I know that he was fought by the main team, but it didn't take like the entire team to take him down.
The Olympians is the name of the.
Okay, the Olympians. He was fought by a couple members of the Olympians. He keeps making the same like decision. Like it's his thing just to keep going by water, and that's his downfall. And he keeps doing that. And last time they got him in like the bay or the ocean or something like water like or like in a fountain or something, and he managed to escape. But his damage was it wasn't enough for him to be like totally out of commission, but he was definitely damaged.
Okay, so he doesn't make necessarily good choices about his locations for this kind of thing. I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, hang on. I want to show you the home base of the Olympians.
These boots are
It's really subtle,
Oh, really? Is it?
super subtle.
What are the numbers up in the corner for?
They just numbered the cards.
Oh. Wow, that's subtle.
I would have never known.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also down here looking over the bay. It's just not nearby, but yeah, it's
That's special.
it's the Olympian home base.
It's real subtle.
Yeah, easy to find. All right, so
What seems
you
different?
shout out what seems different.
Wait. The GM will tell you what, on a hit, tell the team an important detail. The GM will tell you what, if anything, seems different. On a 10 plus, ask the GM a follow-up question they will answer honestly. On a miss,
Yeah, you didn't get a 10 plus. Don't worry about that. What seems different about this?
Yeah.
He has a tendency to kind of monologue a little bit, kind of explain the logic of what he's about to decide, and he's completely approaching completely in silence. Aside from the electrical charge or anything like that, there's no shouting or anything like that. You can just feel the charge building up.
And
It seems like he's going to just unload without telling anybody that it's happening.
Okay.
The whole announcement thing may have been a leftover thing of his heroic days, where he's like, I'm not going to just backshoot you without any kind of warning, and that's not.
That's not happening.
thing.
He's just going in.
He's
He's just
clearly
like, I'm
go-
ready to get these.
He's clearly going hardcore. All right.
He's
So he
going-
warns you guys, like.
He's going full massacre.
So he's going. So you, what do you shout? Like, hey, it's Voltaic. Try to get him into the water and look out. What do you do?
It's like we have trouble right now. It's Voltaic. His weakness is water. If we get him into the bay, it's completely submerged. Then but we need to get this done fast because there's a lot of vulnerable people here, and they are not safe right now.
Well, and there's other superpowered folks, obviously, because you're heading to Phoenix Academy. But at the same time, they're not. They're unaware.
They're unaware.
Okay, so
And we cannot make a huge deal out of this because if we start shouting, people are going to panic, and that's the last thing we need.
all right, we're gonna do one more thing before we get rolling. Before we leave, be done. And we're gonna wind up for the next thing. Team mechanics. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
When you enter battle against a dangerous foe, now we're not going to actually, well, we can probably tell you. When you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 teams to the pool. So that's going to give you just a pool of points that you can use to help each other. Now the thing is, you don't have to like do things like I don't remember how it works in D20, but it's like I want to help this guy do this thing, and sometimes you have to roll, and if you roll well, it'll help. If you don't, this is not how it works. And this thing is like describe how you help. Okay, you just spend a 10 point. Okay, you give them a +1. It's very, very simple.
The one getting in the water.
So you get 2 points in the team pool. If the leader has influence over every teammate, you add
We
another
need to be
team.
the leader.
So who's going to be the leader? Who's the leader for this fight?
I think you should be. Because I warned everybody about it.
Calling the shots.
You're
Here's
more,
the tactics.
You're more prepared and you know who it is. Whereas
All right.
I don't know if she knows who it is.
All right. So yeah, he's electrical powered. He's electrical powered. Keep him in the water. Get him in the water. Blah blah blah. Okay. If the leader has influence over every teammate, you do. So that adds another team. So we're up to 3. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team. What's your purpose in the fight? What's your purpose in the fight?
Keep everybody safe and get him either decommissioned or down for the count.
Okay. What's your purpose in the fight?
Same thing, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like
It's okay to not have that. Like I
You
want
are
to.
allowed completely to just be like, no, that is not at all. what I'm
make
doing.
sure nobody who
Nobody gets hurt.
nobody gets hurt. Like
Okay. I think that's close enough to just call. You guys are all basically have the same purpose. Everyone has the same purpose in the fight. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, take a team out of the pool. Do you trust the team?
you do.
Do you trust the leader?
Yes.
Do you trust the team?
Yeah.
Do you trust the leader?
Yes.
Do you trust the team?
I trust everybody enough to be able to swim.
All right, cool. So it doesn't give you more. It just doesn't take any away.
If I was working with anybody else, I'd be like, yep, nope, we're done.
If your team is ill-prepared or off-balance, now typically, because this is sort of out of nowhere, I would say you're not prepared for this and kind of off-balance, but you rolled so well on your prep-up that I think it counts as at least not...
I think it's easy enough to go from just standing around to be like, here's what we need to do, here's how we need to do it. That's enough
That's
of
what
it.
we did in the.
That's enough of it to be able
fight
to
that
like.
we met each other.
Here's the
Yeah.
plan. Get him in the water. You know it?
Yeah, it's really just try not to make a huge scene, get him in the water, get him to go away. Because he's about to kill all these peoples, and we don't need that right now.
Also you, but you know.
Also us, yeah. That'd be
We will start next time, which will probably be in 2 weeks, with Voltaire. Throwing down on the docks of the bay. I know you really wanted to roll some dice. You want to roll some just to get it out of your system? You're good? Alright. That
That was awesome.
Are you guys psyched?
Yes.
I am psyched.
Yes, queen.